There, Basil. You've had quite the scare. Mrs. Fairfax is all right. She was just unconscious. She'll be fine. We will want to ask you a few more questions, though, once you've rested. Why don't you go have a sleep now?
Well, thank you, Mrs. Clifford. Henrietta, is it all right? That's about all the questions I have for you for now. I'd appreciate if you keep the guests out of the lobby the rest of the evening until we've had time to talk to them. And they've been told they can't leave until we've had a chance to interview, and so we can check for
So you're saying that you took out a large insurance policy on your wife's large necklace?
What are you insinuating? Of course I'd take out an insurance policy on $1 million necklace, especially if we're going on a long trip.
But why bring it along at all? Surely it must be a nuisance to worry about it all the time.
You're treating me like a criminal. People like you should be sensitive to what we're going through. After all, we had a terrible shock, and you're making me feel like I'm a crook.
We're just doing our job, Mr. Fairfax. One final question before I let you go. I understand from one of the maids, Miss White, that you and Miss Rochester were once engaged. That you and Miss Rochester, both from the United States of America, ended up here at the same remote countryside hotel is a bit of a coincidence, isn't it?
A coincidence is all it is, Lieutenant. But then what's that have to do with anything anyhow?
Oh, probably nothing. The maid just thought it significant enough to mention.
What's a silly maid know? Can I go now?
Oh, I think that about wraps it up. For now.
Now.
Dorrit, I think we'll let the Fairfaxes take a little break from their questioning for a while. Mrs. Fairfax, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us. You're welcome. Hold on. What clues have you gathered?
a few interesting things.
Well, why don't you bring them over here and put them on the table and we'll take a closer look at them to examine them.
Okay.
There's a few things. Now, Mrs. Fairfax claims that the last thing she remembers was the maid Greta White preparing a cup of tea for her and bringing it to her. There must have been some heavy sedative lacing that tea, I believe. This does not look good for the maid Greta White who brought it to her. Now, put the cup back in the plastic there. We'll send it down to the lab for further investigation.
It's new from the lab. It's called Ziploc, and it even comes in Christmas print. I'm not dead.
What's this? You see how this handkerchief is monogrammed S.A.? When I checked over the guest registry and the staff list, there was no one who matched the initials of S.A. Oh, Doyle, where did you find this handkerchief?
It was on the cushions of the couch.
Or perhaps it was left by a previous guest.
I doubt it, according to the hotel's manager, Henrietta. The maid's clean up in here every morning, and they're constantly looking under the cushions for some change. I didn't find any for myself.
But we haven't allowed anyone in here since last night's theft. No. Well, except those that we've already questioned.
All right. We'll wait for the guests and the staff to come in. When we question them, we can ask them about the initials ESA. So, Doyle, what other evidence have you got there? 2 engagement rings. She was wearing one earlier when I questioned her.
Yeah, too. I don't know. And what's this? Oh, it's a pocket watch. I wonder if it belongs to Mr. Fairfax. Confirmed. It has his initials engraved on it. Where did you find this, O'Doyle?
Funny thing, it was just sitting on the table.
Anything else, O'Doyle?
Wait a minute, did you say he was missing it?
He was. He claimed that that was the reason for his absence during the time of his wife's necklace being stolen. He was searching the taxi cab for it.
Well, maybe he's just absent-minded and couldn't find it.
Oh, we'll see about that.
I think that's all I have for now, Chief.
Really? Nothing else?
No.
All
Not
right.
right now. I need to look some more.
Let's scour this place one last time before we bring in the guests and the staff for questioning. Okay? All right.
Let's go for a walk.
Is that what you thought?
Chief, I found something else. A big giant shoe. That moves. It's from leg and toe and big face.
Good day, fellow quenchers of injustice, crime, and cruelty. Detective Phyllis Thornton. And her lovely assistant Emma Reed, quite humbly at your service.
Thornton, what on earth are you doing here? This is our case. We don't need any help from you. Or rather, I should say, interference. Incompetence would be more like it, wouldn't it?
Chief. Yeah.
On the other hand, Miss Reed, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Chief Whitfield. You should know that we did not come here uninvited. Mr. Fairfax hired us to take the case.
What?
He said he needed to hire someone to be on his side, and we're here.
Yes, quite. Look, he claims that you treated him rather rudely, made him feel like a criminal. Really, Chief, you are dealing with a wealthy and powerful man. I just think you would be treating him with a little more courtesy.
Now listen here, Thornton. We were simply conducting routine questioning and investigation. No one has been treated rudely. At least not yet.
There, Dover.
Chief Whitfield to you, Thornton.
All right, Chief. Look, I have a little proposal for you. Why don't we see who can solve this crime first? Kind of like a little bit of a contest. A little contest. If, let's say, I solve it first, you agree to allow me to advertise my agency at your police station.
Never!
Hold on, I'm not finished. If you were to solve the crime first, why, I would give you half of the salary that Mr. Fairfax and I agreed upon for my services.
Thornton,
1 whole year.
It's a deal.
Please sign here, Chief.
What's this?
It's a copy of the agreement we just made. Please sign here.
All right. Well,
Aha! We agreed to share all information amongst ourselves.
that was a part of the agreement.
You've got to read the fine print, man. It's only fair that we should start on the same footing.
You just want to take advantage of everything that we've discovered so far.
I bet she even wants to look at the evidence that we have.
I bet she does, no way.
Could we not hid it behind the desk?
Evidence such as that big shoe found earlier.
We're not talking about the shoe anymore.
All right, officers, let's stop quibbling. We've got a case to solve here. Oh, Doyle, show Detective Thornton and Miss Reed the evidence. Those that we've gathered.
Oh, yes, I left that on the desk. It's right. Oh, no.
Looks like you got a lot of clues there, Sergeant.
Chief, all the evidence is missing.
Yes, listen.
It was here and it was gone. It's missing.
Yes.
Oh, Doyle. Oh, Doyle, go fetch Miss Rochester, Mr. Larson, the Brightons and Basil for questioning, okay? And then go search for the missing evidence. All right, unbelievable.
She's
We,
gone.
we've barely begun the case and we've already lost the evidence.
I know.
Is it any reason Mr. Fairfax hired a professional?
Chief Whitfield, all required copies of the guest register and staff list. In addition, all required copies of the testimonies you've already procured, as well as any fingerprints you lifted from items in this room.
What she said.
Really?
Yes.
Thornton, we may have to reconsider who the real professional is around here. Oh, Basil. I trust you have sufficiently recovered from your shock to speak with us now, correct? Okay. I understand that you were the very first person to find Mrs. Fairfax after the robbery, correct? According to Mr. Fairfax, you were asleep at the desk at the time that he left the lobby to go search for his pocket watch, is that correct? Furthermore, according to that testimony, you were the only person here in the room with Mrs. Fairfax, both before and after Mr. Fairfax left the lobby, is that correct? Basil, you understand this does not look good for you.
What? I'm not like my clothes? My mother made them for my birthday.
You must be Miss Rochester. Yes, I am. I'm Detective Thornton's personal assistant. I need to ask you a few questions about your whereabouts at 11 o'clock last night.
Okay, sure. 11 last night I was in bed. I was sleeping soundly until I heard people running around shouting, saying, "She's dead! Mrs. Fairfax is dead!"
I understand you have a previous connection to Fairfax.
Well, yes, Eddie and I were engaged until he met that woman.
It sounds like. But you knew her.
I did, but that was 10 years ago.
So why do you know her? What happened between Edward and her?
Well, we were engaged for a period of time.
Oh, so you sound a bit resentful.
No, not at all. It's been many years now.
And how is it that you ended up at the same hotel all the way across the ocean? I mean, Shady Acres is barely a pinpoint on the map.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence. I wasn't expecting to run into him here at all. I was just on a vacation from my secretarial position. I like little out of the way places, to be honest.
And so what else do you think of Lynn? Do you find she's happy or her and Edward happy here?
It's
Mr. Larson. I'm
Say
pretending
no, say no more, my dear officer. I know why I'm here. It's okay. Say no more.
Very well then. Where were you last evening around 11 p.m.?
Well, I was in my room. I was smoking a pipe and I was reading a book. It's all normal for me.
So you don't retire early then?
No, not usually. No. I mean,
I understand from the hotel's owner that you've been staying here for a while. In fact, she seems to think you've taken up permanent residence.
well, it's a quaint little place, eh? Don't you know? It's a really grand, beautiful, charming English country kind of way.
Well, having stayed at Shady Acres for quite some time now, surely you must be familiar with the ins and the outs and the staff routines now, wouldn't you?
What are you suggesting, Lieutenant? That my familiarity with all the procedures of the hotel would make me a suspect for theft?
Well, I understand that you're also in a bit of a financial bind. Miss Clifford claims that you can't even afford to pay your own hotel bill.
No. I'm just waiting for an advance from my brother. That's all it is. He's in Canada. It takes a while for the money to come in.
The key transfer, you don't tell me.
Yes. Ingrid and Albert Bryson, I presume.
Yes.
Detective Thornton.
Oh,
Pleasure to meet you.
delightful to meet you.
Absolutely. Are you enjoying your stay here at Shady Acres?
Oh, yes, very much. There's so much to see and do and touch and, well, that was so nice, Albert. Wasn't it nice of the detective to ask us how we're doing and that we're enjoying our visit? Albert?
I'm sorry. I'm just admiring this painting over here. I haven't noticed the painting.
Oh, dear, step aside. It is splendid, isn't it? Oh, look at the colors. Oh, give me that measuring tape. Oh, my. Oh, do you know what I think, Albert? I think it'd be perfect for our flat back home. Yes, that would be so yes, Miss Detective. Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Bryson.
Yes.
Please, yes. I'm over here.
Yes.
Good, please, yes. Sit perhaps and pull yourself together there, dear. Now listen, I'll have you know that I am an excellent judge of character.
Yes.
And I can tell that the two of you could not possibly be involved in any activities, thefts, or burglaries at this hotel, but you understand, we have to go through the motions.
Oh,
All right?
yes.
We must interview everyone.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
where were the two of you last night at 11 o'clock?
We were in bed at 8, as usual.
Yes. That's true.
Good enough for me. Perfect. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Have a wonderful stay. Take care. Absolutely. You bet.
Yes.
Chief, I'll get some of the others to interview. Wrap this up in no time.
Lauren,
Yes, sir.
did you notice Thornton? Did you
Yes.
notice how long it took me to interview that couple?
We're off 2 seconds, sir.
She is such a flake of a detective.
Big Blake.
And she harasses me for my interviewing techniques.
I know. She asked them all with one question.
Hello!
I'm Beth Morgan, and this is Lavinia Cole.
Oh, hello, Beth. Lavinia. Meet Detective Dorothy.
Ladies, would you please come join myself and Miss Reed? We have some few questions to ask you. First of all, do you like working here? Are you paid well enough?
Well enough, I think.
The hotel has undergone some financial difficulties lately. Mrs. Clifford hasn't been able to give us pay rise in a couple of years.
That's why Mrs. Clifford had started a
interview these two together.
Together? Why, how amiable of you.
Hardly was stuck up and do with being amiable. I have seen your interviewing techniques. Right away. Heinrich.
Yeah.
Heinrich, do you have a last name?
Nein.
Curious. Miss White. Miss Fairfax tells us that the last thing she remembers before robbery was receiving a cup of tea that you prepared and brought to her. We believe that someone slipped a sedative into that tea before she drank it.
Sir, by making that tea for Mrs. Fairfax, I was only following Heimlich's instructions.
I didn't instruct you to make tea for that woman. Why would I do so? She refuses to eat any of my food.
You left out a tea tray with a cup and a teapot and a note telling me to make it for her when she returned from dinner tonight. You said it was a peace offering.
Peace offering? Why would I do that? The only peace I will offer her is a dish of my mind.
He sounds guilty, Chief. Obvious contempt for the victim.
Heinrich, do you deny writing that note?
I strongly deny.
Miss White, do you remember what became of that note?
I might have thrown it out, or it might still be in the kitchen.
Okay, you two are fine. You're dismissed. Thank you so much for your cooperation.
Contempt? 9?
Miss Reed,
Yes?
over here, please. You have the listing of the staff and the guests.
Yes.
Have we now interviewed everybody?
All but one guest who has just signed her name with an X.
Dorrit,
Yes, sir.
go see if you can find this mysterious X person.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't want to see you at the back door, little cat.
No, it's not true. He's going for a walk.
Hey, you're gonna take her back. Come back. It's got the stickers on it. Would everyone like a glass of wine?
Oh, silverware. Not good. Not good. I'm gonna have the vapors. Ingrid and Albert, I'm very, very disappointed in you. Yeah.
Oh, Doyle! What are you doing? Did you find any diamond necklaces in this mess?
Not yet, but I'm looking.
What is it?
Gee, Basil just told me that he saw Mrs. X leave the hotel about an hour ago.
Oh, great! Just when we find the missing evidence, we lose a key suspect. What else can go wrong today?
I repeat, I get no appreciation around here. Mrs. Fairfax is complaining about my food, sending it back to the kitchen with instructions. insulting me. That's it. I'm through. Now, good.
Heinrich, you can't quit. Where am I going to find a cook on such short notice?
I don't care about it.
Eh?
Everybody, lunch ready?
Maybe just a little happy.
No.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Big Sally, all to the town. Oh, did we miss anything exciting while we were away?